Haiti, there's no such thing as personal space. We're 30 minutes late or an hour, not a big deal. In Haiti, that's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Like everyone knows that. I guess I miss the more of the tightness of community that you have in Haiti.
Yeah.
And you almost do have like that extra care for people. So like I miss that. And give someone a hug. I miss that I could be a stranger to you and I could talk to you and have a conversation and be fine. I'm like here, it's like you don't just like, I mean you can, I've done it, but more often than not, here you don't just talk to random people.
As Americans, we tend to view ourselves very highly when it comes to the standards of cultures across the planet. I had the honor today of bringing on my friend Ben, who is from Haiti. We had a discussion talking about culture in Haiti, how it compares to America, and the things that he misses about Haiti, and honestly, how we wish some things that were in Haiti would be here. Dive deep with us. This is The Inward Mind. Welcome to The Inward Mind. This is Billy M. Warded here, and I have my good friend, Ben Tlucek, and we are going to have a conversation about his life and what brought him here to Utah and kind of how the experience of himself. So, Ben, will you introduce yourself and kind of tell where you came from, because you're from Haiti. Kind of tell that story about Haiti and kind of how that transitioned you to moving here to Utah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Again, so from Haiti, as we say, born and raised, right? My interesting thing about my story is kind of like, as a little kid, I was actually ended up getting adopted, which was my first move to the United States. And after being in the United States for a little bit, I moved back to Haiti, but did that, spent again, like pretty much junior high to like high school, lived in Haiti. And then after that, I ended up moving to the United States to go to Bible school. So funny enough, with the whole Bible school thing is I was Haiti, was it 2020 or 2019? That was like about COVID time. But also the thing about growing up in Haiti was that there was just a lot of like gang violence and just a lot of like through COVID and just even before that, the country was just a wreck, a complete disaster. And I was like, I just want to get out of Haiti. Like I was just tired of, I just didn't like it. And I knew I wanted to live in the States full time just because, I'd lived there before. And I had the ability to because through adoption, I got my American citizenship and all that stuff. So I was able to do that. So, but I didn't really want to go to Bible school though. That was kind of my thing. My parents grew up in a Christian household. My parents were like, you should consider going to Bible school. And I was like, absolutely not. I'm not going to Bible school. Because at that point in my life, that wasn't like important to me.
Yeah.
So, but what was important was the military. I was like, you know what? If I'm going to go to the States, I want to actually do something like what I think is super cool or just something, of value. And I knew other people had gone through the military. So I was like, I'm going to go to the Marines. So I tried for that and nothing ever really worked. And just the condition of Haiti made it so I couldn't even like get my GED because I was trying to figure out high school and all that stuff. The thing about Haiti is, the school system is real terrible. I know we complain here about the school system, and not to say I've spent much time in the school system here, but like again, you have times where people don't even show up, or there are times where you just really it's expensive and it's hard to keep at it. So like I was thinking about my options. I was like, well, if I can get a GED, then I can join the military, and then after that we'll go from there. It was a slow process. Nothing ever really worked the way I wanted it to. So there came a point to where I thought I was going to stay in Haiti like forever in my mind, just because of like COVID and all that stuff. And then there was a flight to the United States. And my parents were like, well, here's the thing. You can go to the United States and then you should go to this Bible school called Bible College. And you're going to be set up perfectly. And I was just like, man, that's not what
I don't want to go there, but you know what? I want out of Haiti.
I want out of Haiti. I'm like, I don't want to go there, but if I can get out of Haiti, I'll go. So that's how I came to the United States as an adult, just kind of by myself. Yeah. Like I said, I'd lived in the States a few different times as a kid, but as an adult, that was my first experience in the States, and I lived in Oregon, Cannon Beach, Oregon, for about a few years and completed Bible school there. And then when I was at Bible school, I had a professor named Brian Hurlbutt, which honestly, I could never forget his name just because his name.
Hurlbutt.
Yeah, Hurlbutt.
Hurlbutt.
He's a great guy, but like when I first heard his name, I was like, well, I'll never forget him for his name. And just for how he was a great teacher. And for whatever reason, I connected well with him as a student. So during my second year, so at the Bible College, it's a 2-year program. You can do either a 1-year or a 2-year. Yeah. So I did my second year, and I connected with him, and he brought up a possibility to be an intern. So when I heard about that, I was like, you know what? My motives there were like, hey, it could be fun to do internship, but also I mean, to be honest, there was this girl that I thought was going to be going on this internship that I liked. So I was like, good reason to go. Like,
Yeah, absolutely. Girls, the motivation for everybody.
It really is for young men. And I remember filling it out too. And they ask you like questions like, okay, so like, why do you want to do this? And I was like, what's a BS an answer? Oh, I got one.
Yeah.
See, I've been in Bible school long enough to know what to say.
Yeah, absolutely. I get that. Get that for sure.
So anyways, I said, yeah. So I filled it all out. And then I ended up coming to Utah just for a summer internship. And then I've been here for a year, actually a little over a year.
Yeah.
So not very long, but it feels like it's been a while.
Yeah, it feels like it feels like we've been around each other for a long time. But I'm like, if I actually look back at it, like it was summer 2022. Was it 23?
22.
22. Yeah. So we're coming up close to 2 years, right about a year and a half now. So you've been here for a little bit. So what has kept you staying in Utah?
That's a really good question. I think the big reason why I stayed right after the internship is, there are a few things. One, I didn't really know where to go right after that. Like I have family all over Idaho, mainly Idaho and Arizona, in Florida. But I actually was thinking about Florida at one point. But I talked to Brian, who was, again, the pastor of Lifeline Community, but also really like my summer mentor when I was here. And we connected not only, again, like at school, but when I came to do the internship, we really connected. And he was just like, why don't you consider like, well, when you think of a place to live, you have to think, where is there going to be community for you? Mm-hmm. And no matter where you go, sometimes you need to find community, but you got to think, okay, where is your church community going to look like? Like that's, before you move, make sure you have an idea of what a church community can be like for you. So you thought about Florida and all these different areas, and I was like, there's not a whole lot of community. Idaho, there'd be some families, so there's that. Yeah. But I really did during my summer internship, I fell in love with Lifeline. Mm-hmm. I love that place and just how it was community oriented. And again, like Brian had really just been like such an amazing like role model for me during the summer, and then other people too, the whole staff. Yeah. So I was like, man, you know what? Until then, I just thought to myself, until I figure something out, I'll stay here. And there was the opportunity of like, Brian helped me get a place to stay, which was like where I could afford. Yeah. And then I'd worked at Les Schwab Tire Center, and I could just transfer. So it wasn't very hard to get a job. So I was like, might as well stay.
Yeah.
So that was probably the big thing. It just kind of turned out. I liked the community, and I knew I'd have help. And I didn't honestly know how long I'd stay. Like people asked me right after, they're like, well, one of the few things they'd ask is, are you still an intern? Because I'd still be around the church helping out. Yeah. And I'm like, no, but I feel like it, right? And then second, they're like, well, how long are you going to stay in Utah for? And I'd usually I'd just be like, I don't really know. Like, I'm here for now, and we'll see, I guess, whatever God wants. But really, I didn't have really a long-term plan on where I'd actually want to be at the time. So that's that's kind of, again, what kept me here was just, I know I had community, and I had amazing, like a whole staff of Lifeline Community, like just some amazing role models, and I had a job, and I just liked the people that I was around.
Yeah.
So dude, I learned that community is everything.
Community is big. Like if you don't, it's kind of hard to notice, especially like nowadays where people are like, oh yeah, I have community, and all their community is just their phone. Like you see like the deep depression that people dive into because like, oh yeah, I'm in community. What are you talking about? I got my social media friends. And it's like, truly, we're starting to realize as human beings, like we're now, social media is 2007 to now, it's almost like 17 years ago. We're starting to hit that maturity level of people's understanding of social media. And it's like, community is huge. And most people underwrite that. They're just like, yeah, it's okay. I'll get community. I'll do this thing. But dude, that's awesome that's the thing that stuck with you is the community aspect. When it kind of circling back to your internship, what was the hardest thing that you did in your internship? Because there was a lot of challenging, like being able to be around and witness a lot of that stuff and that hard things that you did. What was the most challenging thing for you within your internship?
You know what? I think a lot of it was just the intake of information, which was really just a lot of reading, to be honest. So we had, I don't remember how many books, but we had to read a lot of pages. And to be honest, man, I am not like a really good reader. Dude, like I try to work on it. I get you.
I'm right there.
I'm slow at reading. And then sometimes I'll read something and I'll forget. My retention is not always the best. So like for me, it was just like, man, I have to read all this stuff and then I have to like know what I read and then like be able to talk about it or write about it. So I think it was just the amount of reading that was tough. And then like keeping up with it. Like it's like if you miss a day or if you don't read enough, like you're going to be behind. Like it's almost like you're behind like 5,000 pages worth of reading. So
It's definitely an intense amount of reading. I don't remember how many books that you guys read, but it's definitely, it was a lot. I just remember talking about it, and I'd walk into that office when I was filming, I did that internship video, and you guys be thumbing through some pages of these massive books. So it was just, it was good times. So when you came to the US and then went back to Haiti, what can you kind of explain? Like, I don't really understand much of the culture, because you're talking about like gang violence and all this stuff like that. Like, what is the culture like in Haiti? Because like I've grown up in I've been in the U.S. my whole life. I've grown up mainly in Utah, so I don't really understand the cultural differences when it comes to Haiti specifically. Like, what are some like the differences that you see within the culture within Haiti?
That's a really good question, Billy. I'm telling you. Well, I think Haiti that's a really hard one. Like, I'd say we are about community actually more to an extent than maybe Utah. I'm just going to say Utah because that's what I know right now.
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So I have to be careful. I can't be like Alabama or all these other places, or, Florida. Florida's pretty, the South, but yeah. So like, we're very much about community in the sense to where like, if you were like jobless or you needed something like that, again, in community, you're probably going to find that because people come around each other like that. They actually care to that extent. And people are just a little more opened in that area. Like, for example, I could probably just, especially if in my community, yes, it helps. You need to know people, but I could just walk into someone's house almost any time and say hi, and they wouldn't care.
That's awesome.
You know what I mean? I'm like, here, you schedule it. It's
it's got to be scheduled. It's got to be, make sure it's on the calendar.
Yes. Like, it's like, I can't, I don't know. I haven't done this yet, but I assume, and you were way more like chill and flexible.
Yeah, absolutely.
But let's just say, all right, that I probably couldn't just walk into your house, even though you know me.
Yeah.
Right? And just be like, hey, what's up? Kind of thing. I'm just hanging out. Most people would, I don't know how you would react, but I think average people would just be like, what are you?
Well, I would be fine with it. I just don't know with my girls, because I have 3 kids. So I don't know. There could be kids running around. I don't know. Like, there could be something like, and also my front door is kind of, I have to lock it to make sure so it's not unlocked all the time. So to keep the door shut, the deadbolt has to be going. So, but no, I would be down. I'd be down for people just popping in all the time. That'd be okay with me. But a lot of the times I feel like it's kind of crazy. That's a difference, because Americans are like, it's got to be scheduled. Yeah. You have to, like, Ben, you said you were coming over at 1:30.
Yes. Oh.
Not when you didn't say come over at 1, you came over at 1:30. That's like a huge thing. Like, it's such a funny thing, because I talk about it all the time, because I played rugby and football in high school, and there was always joking, because I had a lot of Polynesian friends. I'm like, oh yeah, we're on poly time, and poly time is usually like, could be 5 minutes to 30 minutes late. Like, they always joke about that, but it's like, when it came to some things with sports, I'm like, we can't be on poly time. We got to be on time. We got to get rolling. But dude, that's such a crazy thing to think about. Is what part of community do you see like differences between community and Haiti? Because there's like that ability to walk into somebody's house and somebody can take care of you. Do you see that aspect of community overall in Utah, or is it only because of Lifeline community that you see some of that?
That's another hard question. And the reason why I say that is because most of the community I've experienced is Lifeline. Yeah. I don't know if it's because I have and outside of that, it's just been like coworker community, which it's still actually, if I'm thinking about that community, it's scheduled. It's the same thing. So I want to say, from not much experience at all, I want to say it's overly like the whole like welcoming sense atmosphere is more of like the Lifeline. And I think outside of that, it wouldn't be so much. That'd be my guess. But again, it's hard for me to know because I haven't spent a whole lot of time outside of that. And another thing too is what you mentioned with it's funny that you said the whole time thing. Yeah. It's the same thing. Like, even coming here. So here's a great example of this. When I got here, so growing up, you need to be to work on time. That's a given, right? But like any social event, you can be a little late. Yeah. So like we have merge and stuff like that, and I'll come late. Now, I don't intentionally do it, but I'm a little more like, I'm way more relaxed, or sometimes too relaxed in that area. Because I'm like, it's an event. Like, if you were 30 minutes late or an hour, not a big deal. In Haiti, that's not a big deal. Yeah. Like, everyone knows that. So I am dating this girl named Abby, right? Abby. Yeah. Anyways, she's like the very opposite. She's like, I want you to be on time. Like, she's like, if I go to pick her up, if I say I'm going to pick her up at 10, if I show up at 10:30, she's like, you said 10, Ben. You said 10. And it's like, why don't you keep your word? I was like, it's not, or I've gotten better. Sometimes I'm like, okay, it's 10:15. And she's like, but she's way more patient. She's real patient with me in that. Yeah. But it's just funny how the culture thing is, where it's just the timing's not.
It's a whole difference.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not. People are just like way more free and more like kind of whatever.
Yeah, it's just kind of like there's not a Americans are so very schedule knit, like we've already talked about, but it's like there's so much they want. This event's going from 7 to 10. That's like the thing. It's like I feel like American culture is pretty like, oh yeah, it's going from 7 to 10. It's not going from like 6:30 to 12. Yeah. Even though we said it was 7 to 10, it's always like that. We got to have our schedules in order of where it's going to go. So
it's true. Yeah.
Dude.
But yeah, with the back to that whole community thing, I think it's probably more from my experience of a lifeline thing. 'Cause the very little community, not like time I've spent outside of people at Lifeline, is like coworkers, and it's more so, scheduled. And not, you know what, I've noticed this too. Not only that, it's more so people aren't as open to hang out. I think that's odd. Right? Because I do this all the time at work. Like, hey, do you just want to, after work, do you guys want to go get something or whatever?
Go get some food or something.
Get some food or whatever. Or sometimes I want to go to a bar. Or even like, hey, do you want to like there's a guy who asked me questions about Jesus. And I was like, okay, well, maybe it's hard time to talk about it right now, but we can always talk about it. Like, when's your day off? Or I can make, if we have the same day off, let's go get like food or whatever. Or you can come over to, hardly could ever have someone over at my place, but maybe we could. I was hoping they'd be like, hey, come over to my place. Yeah. I didn't get that sense. It was just kind of like, whatever. Yeah. So I think it's more of a lifeline thing from my experience, because I didn't feel that a lot with my coworkers. It was more like, I'm at work, I'm friendly, and then I go home, and then I'll see you at work. But I don't really care to have any type of interaction with you or even a relationship outside of my workplace.
Yeah, dude, I understand that. And I think that comes from, like I said before, technology and people just feeling really being able to be reserved and be able to go into whatever they want to go into, right? It's kind of like community in Haiti. I don't know how much of like technology is a driver for people in Haiti. But like I don't feel like there's as much social media people out there doing like they spend all their life on their phone and TikTok and Facebook and YouTube. Like I feel like there's a difference here in America where it's like when I was a kid, you'd see kids outside everywhere. Every park was full, people riding bikes, and I hardly like driving around don't see that anymore because I feel like people are so ingrained of what technology is. And I think that in turn makes people more standoffish, right? To be like, oh yeah, I don't know if I really want to hang out with Ben. Ben is my work friend, right? I want to hang out with Ben at work. I don't want to hang out with Ben afterwards. Like that's just I feel like that's an American culture thing. And I don't like that as much. I like to be outside. I like to do things. I like to be around people. And like, that's kind of, you asked me a little bit a couple weeks ago at church, like, oh, could I just like reach out to you? I'm like, yeah, I might be busy because I'm just a busy guy. But like, if you reach out to me and we have some time, I'm totally down to go do stuff. So yeah, falling back a little bit, going towards like culture in Haiti. So when it comes to like community things there, do you feel like there's more of a reliance on the people and family in Haiti than there is in America? Like, we have our tight-knit, me and Abby have our tight-knit circles of who we have around and our family members and all that stuff. But do you think that circle's wider in like the culture in Haiti? Like more people you can rely on truly?
Yes and no. I think families, you can rely on them in a sense to where like it's a yes and no. I think that just depends on the family. Yeah. But what I've seen is like family is super, super, super important. Maybe even more to an extent there, especially for someone. What's common growing up, what I'd see is you have maybe a kid or an aunt or uncle or a family member in the United States or Miami, right? They're in the United States, and it would be so important that they keep a relationship. So then the family in the United States could send them money back to Haiti. Or I've known kids that like. It's normal to have. It's really common to have grandma live with you till she dies. She works hard and she lives with you till the day she dies. Or the full on, you see it here where it's like, you, for example, you and Abby live together. You guys are married. Yeah. You guys have your kids. But in Haiti, you rarely have it where it's just you and your family. It's usually you would be like you and Abby and then your brother. If you have one, I don't know if you have.
I have a brother and a sister.
Your brother? Yeah. Okay, and then maybe a sister. But more often than not, you're getting maybe an aunt and uncle, and then your mom or her parents, and they're all in the same house.
Cool,
right? So that's in that way to where that's the community. That's what that looks like. Mm-hmm. So when you go to someone's house, it's usually not just the married couple and their kids. It's like they get branches out. Yeah. Maybe you get a cousin, maybe not. But if a cousin was in need, they know they can come back to the family.
That's
And
awesome.
usually they're going to take them in. Usually. That's more often than not.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that answered your question.
No, that does answer my question. I feel like just talking about the circle of like how people treat each other. That's mainly the point of what I was asking is I really don't see people in America being truly caring about other people, right? I feel like the culture generally, I'm not saying everybody, the culture generally is very selfish and selfish oriented. And I just wanted to see like what the difference would be when compared to Haiti.
Yeah.
Another question: what do you miss most about Haiti? I know we've had some conversations about some things sometimes, but what do you miss about Haiti compared to the U.S.?
Do you know what I miss? I miss this. It's as simple as this. At least in Utah, right? I'm gonna speak from that because I know this currently is best. That man, sometimes when I give you like, I go to greet someone, I miss being able to like go in and like give them a full on hug. You know, or whatever, like give them, like embrace them. I'm like, here, it's kind of like maybe because of COVID, it's more like,
hey, good to meet you.
Yeah,
good
yeah,
to see
just
you.
like that. You don't get too close, right?
No, I get you.
I miss that. I miss just the closeness. In Haiti, there's no such thing as personal space.
Oh,
no such thing. I'm like, here, it's like I need my personal space. Like this is my car, and I drive my car, right?
Yeah.
In Haiti, it's like everything's shared. And I guess, in a sense, I miss the more of the tightness of community that you have in Haiti.
Yeah.
And you almost do have like that extra care for people. So like I miss that and give someone a hug. I miss that I could be a stranger to you and I could talk to you and have a conversation and be fine. I'm like, here, it's like you don't just like, I mean, you can, I've done it, but more often than not, here you don't just talk to random people.
Yeah, they don't want to talk to you.
No, it's kind of like if you're in the grocery store, you're buying stuff. Maybe you see, oh, look at that ad, whatever. Have you seen that before? Or what do you think? Or they bought something. If someone were buying, I've done this before, they're buying something like, hey, what do you think about that? I was thinking about buying that or whatever. Did it taste good? Whatever. The counter just like, oh yeah. Like, but you get the sense of like, you're invading my privacy. This is my shopping cart with my stuff. Dude, what do you like, you know?
Yeah.
No, they were nice, but like you get that sense of like, why are you asking that question?
Yeah, why are you talking to me, Ben? I don't want to talk to you. I don't know who you are.
Yeah, I don't even know you. Unlike in Haiti, it's not like that.
Yeah.
And then I guess the other thing is I miss just the kind of a liveliness. I think Haitians are pretty lively. Like, I've actually probably become less lively since I've been here. Probably just because of just being in this culture kind of thing.
Yeah.
But Haitians are lively. Like, we're loud and we to the most part, like to party. Like,
yes.
But like, you know, it's just like, it's very lively, very like, haha, you know, whatever. And then just, it's pretty laid back.
Yeah.
And then I think the last is the food. Like, we have some good food in the States. In Utah, food's okay. I don't know a whole lot of different like chains. I've had some of the Asian food.
Yeah.
Mexican food's okay. I've had better at other places, but you know what I mean? Like the Haitian food. Like I miss that.
I love Haitian food.
Yeah.
Oh, dude.
And then the music. I miss some of the music. So I think a lot of it. And then another one is I miss the heat.
Yeah. It's cold. It's cold here in Utah right now.
Since I've been in Utah, it is freezing. But I miss like the heat and the humidity.
Yeah.
And then I think last people, so certain people that have been in Haiti my whole life, the ones that are still there, I miss them.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And Haiti's kind of, and then, okay, this is another one. This could go on and on, but I think this is where I stop. I miss almost like the crazy, the crazy life in Haiti, which it brings, which is this, that you never know what's going to happen, right? That's one. And you just kind of roll with it, right? It's always roll with it. It's going to be okay. And like, you just risk it. Right? I think it's the never knowing what's going to happen and you risk it. And they have this saying called dégagez pas péché. Pretty much like make do with what you got. No matter the circumstance, you're not going to die. You're going to make it. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm like, here, it's more like, and I'm even feeling this right now, but like, okay, if I don't have this here, I can't, like, I need this, I need this, all my ducks to line up, which in a sense, that's good. But in Haiti, it's just kind of like, you never know.
Yeah.
You don't know if you're going to have diesel, which is what we drive. Most of the vehicles are diesel or whatever. You don't know if you're going to have diesel. You don't know if they're going to have manifestations to where the stores are locked. Like you can't buy what you want for a good month.
Yeah.
Right? You don't know if on your way to school that they're going to be, I mean, sadly, gang violence, right? They're going to be gangs lined up saying you can't pass. Not to say those are good things, but I think what it does, it gets you to realize that, I mean, you're not in control of everything. I'm like, here, it seems to be, like, I want control. Like, even with the driving, like, people freak out because they have to wait in line traffic for just a little bit.
Yes.
Right? Unlike in Haiti, the line could be backed up all the way from pretty much the Dominican to Haiti.
Wow.
You know, kind of, you know, like in a joking way. But yeah, like, because it's just, you just have to just kind of relax and just realize You never know what's going to happen. Hold things loosely. Like, you don't really know, but it's still okay. It's going to be okay.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome. I think even coming back from being like Christians, I feel like that's a cool aspect and a cool perspective of, well, you kind of have to roll with it. So you got to actually rely on the Lord more often than you do here in the US. Like we got our things, we got our ducks in a row, we got our stuff. I got to figure it out. I don't need any help from the Lord. And I feel like that's a cool thing that kind of forces you to have a relationship and trust in the Lord, not just, well, it's convenient for me. Well, I'm just going to do this whenever I want to do this. I'm going to go to church and build community that way. Like that actually, like, you have to do this. This is ingrained in you. You need to realize that. So that's an awesome thing to think about, that that's part of the culture. And even though some of it's like, yes, gang violence, and it's not necessarily good things, but also being able to live on your feet and have to rely on somebody else bigger than yourself too. That's awesome. So yeah, dude. Well, I really appreciate you coming on and having a conversation with me. And this has been fun. I enjoy having conversations and learning new things and being able to learn a little bit more about the culture in Haiti. And we have to, one time you said you were going to pluck a chicken for me and make me something. Yeah. We got to do that.
We do. I
think we've talked about it multiple times.
Yeah.
We got to actually make it happen.
Yes.
So, dude, Ben, I really appreciate you coming on, and thank you so much, dude.
Hey.
This is The Inward Mind.